Today we got two of the most dangerous men in the MCU going head to head. Punisher versus Bullseye. Who's coming out on top here? Let's find out. Frank Castle is a violent vigilante for a member of the United States Marines who had joined Cerber Squad while he was serving in Afghanistan. Fearing he was slowly losing his honor under the command of Agent Orange, Castle returned to his family, only to lose them all during a brutal shooting. Castle became the Punisher, as he aimed to clean up New York City of all crime by any means necessary. As a former Marine with years of experience, Castle is a very dangerous, fierce, and lethal armed and hand-to-hand fighter, holding his own against Daredevil, even briefly gaining the upper hand over him in their first encounter. Daredevil later commented on his speed and ferocity. His skill greatly impressed Kingpin, and Punisher also possesses an exceptionally high pain tolerance while in battle. He continued fighting after being beaten by crowbars, dumbbells, punches of a chain-wrapped fist, or being shot. In fact, being beat only seems to enrage him even more. A former scout sniper and Marine, Punisher has tremendous expertise in handling firearms, including pistols, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, submachine guns, machine guns, and grenade launchers. He rarely misses his targets, often puts criminals down with a headshot, and is so effective with guns they caused criminals and police to believe his attacks were the work of a group or even an army, not just one man. He's sniped a man from across the border and a whole town over. An incredibly fast shot as well, bringing down 6 bounty hunters before they could even pull the weapons on him. Castle is a highly skilled, effective, and experienced military tactician, so will use his skills as the Punisher to single-handedly track down and kill entire gangs of criminals. He wears a large bulletproof vest on his chest, protecting him from bullets and explosions, and painted a huge skull on it in order to put fear into the hearts of his enemies as he slaughtered them. So, we got one corner, Frank Castle, the Punisher. But, into the ring, at the corner, it's Ben Poindexter, Bullseye. Benjamin Dex Poindexter is a veteran of the U.S. Army, former FBI agent who had a remarkable talent for accuracy. Born with a mental illness, Poindexter had needed structure and rules to suppress his psychopathic tendencies. Without rules, Poindexter was manipulated to become Kingpin's personal assassin, tasked with impersonating Daredevil in order to turn the public against the vigilante. Due to Poindexter's training in the United States Army and the FBI, he became a highly skilled fighter, allowing him to fight opponents such as Daredevil, Kingpin, and a group of FBI agents. However, while skilled, Bullseye was unable to beat a weakened Matt Murdock in hand-to-hand combat due to Daredevil's greater skill and training, and thus during their fights required his marksmanship and range attacks to even the odds. And that's Bullseye's greatest advantage in any fight. He has extraordinary, near inhuman talent in marksmanship. He could wield firearms with superior accuracy and precision, even ricochet bullets to hit the intended targets. As a child, he could drill a hole into the brick wall by repeatedly throwing a baseball in the same spot. He can use practically any object as a lethal projectile, such as office supplies, deconstructed parts of a gun, chandelier crystals, and forks, spoons, and knives at Kingpin's wedding. Bullseye is also able to pull off curve shots and trick shots with an unerring level of accuracy. After being recognized by Fisk, Bullseye was given Daredevil's armored suit, and the suit is extremely durable, allowing him to be nearly unfazed by an opponent's attacks. He's also got Daredevil's iconic Billy Club, which can either be used as a short staff or split into 2 individual sticks for close quarter combat. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, in my opinion, Daredevil is one of the greatest things that the MCU has ever created. It's one of my favorite shows, period. And so today, we've got the anti-hero Punisher going up against the villain Bullseye. Both have fought against Daredevil before in the past, but who will come out on top if these two came to blows? Well, today, that's what we're going to figure out. Also, just for context here, they'll be fighting in the office building where Daredevil and Bullseye first squared off. Bullseye will be wearing his Daredevil suit, and Punisher will have his normal gear on him, so his bulletproof vest, handguns, and knives. Alright, now let's get started. And first things first, we need to take a look at physicality. Which one of these guys is stronger and tougher? Well, with Bullseye, he's punched through locked doors, caused men to do full flips in the air with just one hit, and tossed Matt through a window. He's able to throw any object with some serious power and force. He's tossed a computer monitor so hard that it sent Daredevil flying backwards, cracked a man's skull with a projectile, threw his baton into a man's neck, into Father Langton's chest, and even as a kid, he's able to throw a baseball with so much power that it cracked his coach's skull. But no doubt about it, Punisher is the stronger one out of the two. I mean, it takes 3 grown men to restrain Frank. He's injured both Kingpin and Daredevil with punches, despite the fact that Daredevil was wearing his armor at the time. He's snapped men's necks and actually straight up cut off a guy's head, can stab through Kevlar, and despite just being severely tortured beforehand, he's able to beat up Agent Orange so severely that they said it looked like he had been hit by a train. Yeah, Punisher is a whole lot stronger, and he definitely isn't afraid to use that strength in a fight to just savagely beat up opponents. So about durability. Well, Bullseye's advantage here is that he's obviously wearing Daredevil's armor, and this has allowed him to take beatings from Matt, be thrown through walls or endure falls, and kind of just shrug it off. He's even taken a gunshot before and endured a massive beatdown from Kingpin in the series finale. But again, just like strength, Punisher is a whole lot more durable. I mean, the guy is basically a sponge that can just soak up any attack that comes his way. He's endured beatdowns from Daredevil and Kingpin and wasn't wearing armor like Bullseye when he did it. He's regularly shrugged off gunshots, has taken long falls and kept on fighting, and still kept on going after being hit with multiple taser and tranq darts. He's endured torture from the Irish mob, literally having his foot drilled into, and endured extensive torture from Agent Orange, who wanted to fight his way out and kill his torturers. Then when Russo's men captured him, he took shotgun blasts to the vest and legs, a dozen knife wounds, body and face blows with bats, crowbars, and fists. Frank got back up, tanked several more blows from these weapons, then went to kill every last one of them, which of these guys have been trained military spec ops. It's honestly crazy, and just goes to show how durable Punisher is, that he takes a durability advantage here, even though Bullseye's wearing high-tech body armor. So about speed. Well, Bullseye will dodge a billy club thrown by Matt, duck under gunfire, and even headshot an Albanian before he could fall down and hit the ground. But I actually think Punisher takes the edge here when it comes to speed, too. Just like Bullseye, he's dodged attacks from Daredevil, fitted gunfire before. But really I think it's his draw speed that makes me give the edge to Frank here. He's consistently been able to pull off rapid headshots against opponents, even hitting them before they had the chance to react or even raise their guns. He's quick enough to pull a 180, land a deliberately non-lethal shot on a soldier who already had his gun pointed right at him and his finger on the trigger. Punisher even drawn his weapon, dropped 6 men before a single one of them could react, despite the fact that several of those guys already had their guns drawn themselves, and one was actually aiming straight at Frank. So yeah, it's not necessarily like Punisher is more agile, more maneuverable than Bullseye. He's just showing greater reaction time and greater speed throughout the years. So Punisher is physically superior across the board. What about fighting skills then? And by that, I mean hand-to-hand fighting skills. Now, to be honest, Bullseye doesn't really have the most or the greatest hand-to-hand showings. He took down 5 FBI agents in the stairway, took out a bunch more during the raid off-screen. But it's really just his 2 fights against Daredevil. And in both of those fights, Daredevil clearly showed that he was the better, more skilled fighter than Poindexter, with Bullseye's really only advantage being able to transform anything into a weapon in his hands. Remember, this was a Daredevil who was still recovering from near death, and some pretty severe injuries. Season 3 Matt is a Matt who was far from his prime. On the other hand, Season 2 Matt was a Matt who was right in the middle of his prime. This is the version of Daredevil that Punisher went up against. Not only went up against, but actually had the advantage over him multiple times in the fight, and Daredevil commented on his skill, his speed, and his ferocity. He's gone up against multiple men at the same time, easily outfought Anvil mercenaries, former Spec Op veterans, and even highly trained soldiers like Carson Wolf, Billy Russo and John Pilgrim. And while he might not be as effective at it as Bullseye, Punisher is also more than one to use anything he can find on hand as a lethal weapon. And again, while not quite as good as Bullseye is literally superhuman, Punisher's accuracy is nothing to scoff at. He's able to consistently pull off headshots, take down groups of men in quick succession all by himself, even killing 6 men in 2 seconds. Was even able to hit Daredevil's mask in such a place that knocked him out, but didn't kill him. So to summarize here, Punisher is physically superior. He's the better hand-to-hand fighter. He's a lethal shot. What exactly is Bullseye's advantage here? Well, he can throw stuff really, really well. During the office fight scene, where this same fight will be located, Bullseye was able to tag Daredevil's belly club, hit him with scissors, a stapler, a baseball, pencils, pins. He threw his billy club right in the reporter's neck and disarmed Karen of her gun with a pencil. He's disarmed FBI agents with their guns, then killed them with silverware, killed 2 guys with a glass bottle, tossed beads at Karen in the church, threw an offering plate at Daredevil, just bombarded Kingpin with forks and shattered glass. He was able to curve and ricochet objects so they could hit Daredevil while Matt was trying to sneak around or ducked under cover. So Punisher's gonna get hit. No question about it. However, I think that's actually where Punisher's durability comes into play. His pain tolerance is literally just insane. And if Matt and Fisk are able to take bombardment from Bullseye and all of his thrown weapons, well then Punisher can take it too. And while I definitely don't think Frank was simply able to leap out of the way of incoming objects like Matt, I do think Punisher is fast enough to at least turn lethal throws into a non-lethal injury. At the very least, just throw his arms up in time to block an attack from hitting him in the head. So it's not like Poindexter would just instantly throw his baton into Frank's neck like he's able to do with random journalist. Punisher is just a bit too fast for that. Speaking of speed, I'm not actually convinced that Punisher doesn't simply outdraw Bullseye right from the get-go and consistently shoot him throughout the fight. I mean, random FBI agents want to shoot Bullseye, and Punisher want to shoot Daredevil, who can actually dodge bullets. So I think Punisher can shoot Bullseye here. And the difference between Punisher and a random FBI agent is that Frank knows where to shoot. In his very first encounter with Daredevil, he hit Matt in just the right place to knock him out, but not kill him. According to Potter, 1 inch in either direction, and Matt's face would be spaghetti. So Punisher clearly knows how to work around that armor. And then they ever close a distance, get into a hand-to-hand fight, well, Punisher will kind of destroy Bullseye. He's more skilled and just as ferocious and brutal. So end of the day, who's coming out on top here? Well, I think it's gotta be Punisher. Frank is physically superior and the better fighter. 2 huge advantages in his corner. And while Bullseye can potentially kill him with anything, when he's gone up against a guy with any real skill, really anyone who just isn't fodder, well, Bullseye's been able to just injure, not kill. And that's what I see happening here. Punisher is definitely going to get injured. Probably have office supplies just sticking out all around him. But they'll be able to close that gap and beat Poindexter hand to hand or shoot him through the armor and take him down that way. It will be a super fun fight, and I wish we could have seen it. But ultimately, I think Punisher's come out on top here. Punisher wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to like button, subscribe button, turn notification on the DanCo Army, and I will see you all next time.